Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday live stream. So just like the title and thumbnail suggest, there's some pretty negative sentiment out there, which has to do with altcoins and altcoin season. And we're going to take a look at it. I'm kind of shocked, actually, just how negative it is around alts and how people are pretty much giving up right now. So the question is, are alts going to run? Are we going to have an altcoin season? Or is it just going to be a Bitcoin super cycle, which is my favorite words? Let's jump into it. So first of all, I was speaking to my friend yesterday, Steven from the San Juan Smokehouse, and he was talking about how the different traders that he follows, some really good guys and really smart people, were saying that, hey, altcoins are done and we're not going to run, and it's just going to have to be like that. And he showed me a couple of charts and took a look at it, and it made reasonable sense. Now we have something. And this is from David Bailey. And what he's taking a look at here is and of course, before we say anything, let me just say this, which is David is a pretty big Bitcoin maxi. And he's also responsible for the Bitcoin conference, which I will be going to in Las Vegas in May. Can't wait for that one. But he puts it out here and says, look, to understand why there's not going to be an alt season this time and why this is the Bitcoin super cycle, you just have to study the flow of money. And this is the sentiment coming around. And it seems like we may have missed the altcoin season. I personally don't believe that. We're going to take a look at why that's not. But I will tell you, this may not be like the last altcoin season where you can just throw a dart at the board and you can have like, Timbuktu, tomato coin, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, I'm a millionaire. I think it's been a little more difficult than that because we are just overrun. But again, with David here, he probably believes this, and this is the truth for him, that Bitcoin is just going to be in a super cycle and altcoins are going to die. But I will bring you attention down here to I Am Right. He says, this is my third bull run. And this is the third time influencers are saying it's a super cycle. I believe Bitcoin and have for 9 years. This is not a super cycle. Protect your wealth and profits, period. So look, I don't know which way we're going to go, but I got to tell you, I think some alts will do extremely well. The question is, which ones are they doing? So the sentiment is there, very negative. People are saying we passed it. We're going to hear a lot of different talk come out, a lot of different channels, a lot of different social media partners are going to say, hey, that's it, and just put everything into Bitcoin. It'd be fine just to do that. But I think there's some winners out there. So first of all, what the hell is what is an altcoin season? What does that mean? How do we determine that? Well, of course, for some people, it's like, well, the altcoin season is when my alts go up, and that's all I care about. Okay, fair enough. But if we take a look here, Ben's got it on his website, which is pretty good of how he laid it out. Altcoin season index is defined as the amount of the top 50 alts that have a 90-day ROI, return on investment, greater than Bitcoin divided by 50. Whenever this is less than 25% of the 90-day ROI, we say it's in a Bitcoin season, or because the Bitcoin is outperforming most altcoins. If you got more than 75% of alts outperforming Bitcoin, altcoin season, right? Here's the great thing about that. You can define that. But I think when you're in altcoin season, which again, if you take a look up here, great stuff. You want to check out Ben's site. There's a link in the description, first month, 10% off. When you take a look at it, when you're above 75 altcoin season index, you're roughly in the altcoin season per se, right? But I've always felt like when you're in the altcoin season, I can say it's kind of like a recession. When you're in a recession and the government actually calls it, you are too late. You're already too late to pivot. You're already in the thick of things. Everybody knows it's a recession anyhow. So why do you got to tell us? So with this one, it's a pretty good indicator just to say like, hey, this is where we're at. But I got to tell you, as far as like the season goes, I mean, we had this big top right here. Again, 90 days on the 3rd of December, 2024 would have been an altcoin season index of 85, meaning that most of the top 50 of the altcoins, the ROI was greater than Bitcoin, 75% or more, right? We're at 85 here. Okay, so we got it. But then now look what happens. It just dropped off the face of the planet. And now we're at 44. And I will tell you, if we can just take a look here, this is 90 days. And you can say which ones in the top 50 are doing better than Bitcoin. Right now, it's 1, 2, 3. It's roughly about 25. I'm just going to eyeball it, maybe 24. Correct me in the comments section. Those are the ones doing better. Now, these are the ones that are not. There's quite a bit. And you can just see them all the way down this way, over 90 days. Now, if we take a look at, say, like 60 days, how are we doing? Not too good. We're actually more in a Bitcoin season. What about 30 days? I mean, are we okay with 30 days? Nah, it's even worse. So we can see that there's a negative ROI in the last 30 days, 60 and 90. Obviously, going back to this point in time, 8th of December, 2024, or 4th of December, 2024. So right now, are we going to see like an altcoins run? Maybe not for a while, but does that mean that it's game over? No, check this out. This is from Alec Bertunas, and he's the guy that called it right, unlike myself. He's the one that said that Bitcoin ETF was going to come down, and I was like, yeah, I believe it when I see it, and damn it if he wasn't correct. Good for Eric. And he says, look, today, Trump is going to launch, that's President Donald Trump of the United States, if you haven't heard about this guy. Trump is going to launch a Bitcoin Plus ETF, safe to say, first ever POTUS, President of the United States, ETF issuer. What a country. So before we go, oh, that's it. Bitcoin's done. Got an ETF. Wait. Trump Media and Tech Group, TMTG, which counts Trump as its majority owner, on Thursday said it had filed 2 registered trademarks for new investment vehicles under its financial tech brand, financial technology brand. Remember that. TruthFi. Each of the ETFs and separately managed accounts, SMAs, will sound similar to anyone even tangibly familiar with the president's speeches of the past several months. TruthFi plans to offer the Made in America, U.S. energy independence, and Bitcoin Plus ETFs and SMAs for the company. Plan includes an investment of up to $250 million, custodied by Charles Schwab. Interesting. Yorkville advisors will guide TMTG. So we know what the Bitcoin Plus is coming for the ETF. Gotcha, right? What about this Made in America? What's that all about? Well, first of all, you have to understand where things are coming from. When Donald Trump talked at the last Bitcoin conference in Nashville, he essentially said and alluded to the fact there's going to be a Bitcoin strategic reserve, and everybody went crazy. I was there. It was great. Then as time went on, he's like, well, maybe we'll do something like this. Trump orders crypto working group to draft a regulation to explore a national stockpile. Not a national stockpile of Bitcoin per se, which we know the reserve is coming. I don't just know when. But it's going to be a creation of a national cryptocurrency stockpile, meaning many different cryptos that are out there and altcoins. Which one are those, Rob? It's a good question. Wish I had a magic ball, or wish I was the fly on the wall and I could tell you exactly what you guys are talking about, but there are clues. Pretty simple. If you go to CoinGecko and just under the categories, top world liberty financial portfolio, that's the one that gave us Trump coin and Melania coin. Here's their portfolio. Ethereum, Chainlink, Ondo, which is also a big one for Larry Fink and the boys over at BlackRock. Aave, Coinbase wrapped Bitcoin, Athena, and Movement. I don't even know what those two are. Maybe something to take a look at. And if you're wondering like, well, hold on, wait, I need a little more proof than that. Sure. There's a link in the description for Arkham Digital. And you can take a look at World Liberty Fi and track all of their holdings within their wallet. Now you might be interested to think to yourself, well, Rob, wait, the holdings on January 30th were 392 million. And then today it's only 34 million. What happened to that $358 million? Great question. And we actually answered this. It's because if you look in the bottom right-hand corner here under top counterparties, they stuck it in Coinbase Prime. And actually Coinbase Prime and Cow Protocol swapping service. Coinbase Prime deposit was 123 million, Cow Protocol 135 million, Gnosis Safe Proxy, interesting, 50 million roughly. Coinbase Prime. I'm sure they didn't dump it on us. I'm so sure of it. Anyhow, regardless, it's on Coinbase Prime. Great. So we know it's not just Bitcoin these guys are holding. Maybe they're into some other stuff. And as a reminder, you can actually, when we talked about Made in America, and I said it 3 times, there's a reason why I did that. If you go to CoinGecko top made in the USA coins by market cap. It's under categories. Just go to coingecko.com, click on categories, look for made in USA. And this is the one they've alluded to talk about like, hey, maybe we're going to not have capital gains tax on American companies that are stationed here in the US of A and are dealing with blockchain technology. And out of the top 100, you're going to get XRP, Solana, USDC stablecoin, Cardano, Chainlink, Avalanche, Sui, Stellar, Hedera, Litecoin, Polkadot, Uniswap, Ondo, Near, Trump Coin, Aptos, Algorand, Render, Filecoin, Optimism, Stacks. You can read. It's a lot of them. That's a lot. EOS, holy smokes, me and Beardy might make some money. Tezos, Jito, Pudgy, Penguins, wow. Helium, PayPal. So maybe it's to look at these instead of maybe everything else. I'm just saying, I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just saying this is the information that we have. This is us putting the pieces together and going from there. I could see it. But what about this XRP? Well, funny story. First of all, to really get into it, this is Donald Trump's son, Eric Trump. And to think that they're only going to go Bitcoin, I think is a misnomer. And this was a couple of days ago, February 3rd. In my opinion, that's a great time to add ETH. And then just today he said, it feels like a great time to enter Bitcoin. So yeah, Bitcoin's there, but ETH, which a lot of people have written off. I think that might be a mistake, but sure, whatever. And then also, right under Ethereum, you got XRP. And guess what, everybody? Ripple's CEO Brad Garlinghouse is reportedly expected to be appointed as an advisor to the White House Crypto Council, according to the New York Post. I don't know about you, but I would probably be a little biased if I was Brad Garlinghouse and saying, you know what would go good here? Right, XRP. So don't be mad at the XRP army. I mean, their guy just might actually be a breath away from the president of the United States and the council talking about what they should actually put into their stockpile. Crazy, right? It is what it is. So we have that. And then also to dispel the misnomer that there's no altcoin season, David Sachs, the czar, AI and digital asset czar, appointed by President Donald Trump. And we talked about this today at NFA Live. And if you haven't seen NFA Live, this was a good one. Me, Guy, and Ben got together. Pretty good questions. And we talked about this and dominance and, which kind of altcoins we'd like to fight or not. It was a pretty good one. But to get back to the story itself, stable coins. And Guy had a pretty good point on NFA Live. He said, for these institutions or these different players that are buying into stable coins, they're essentially strengthening the US dollar. And that's exactly what Donald Trump wants to do. So David Sachs says, that's a good plan. Let's just do that. He backs stable coins to boost the US dollar dominance. Interesting, right? And you might think to yourself, this isn't a big deal. It's a big deal. I did not know this, but last year, this is the first time ever, stable coins overtook the transactional value of Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. Not all combined, obviously, but you can just see here in trillions, you're looking at almost $16 trillion in transactional volume. American Express didn't even hit 2. MasterCard hit around 8 trillion, and Visa, the former king, hit about $13 trillion of transactional value. But here's stable coins. What do you think is going to happen in 2025? So then you have to ask yourself this. Okay, so if David Sachs wants to back stable coins, are they going to put that on Bitcoin? Probably not. And if they're going to talk about Tether, well, here's all the chains that Tether has. Aptos, Tron, Near, Kava, Celo, Ton, Avalanche, Solana. All you got to do is take this list here and then this list here from USDC and say, okay, Optimism, Polkadot, Tron, Near, Hedera, Aptos, Algorand, Stellar, Celo, Sui, Arbitrum, Polygon Base, Solana. And you can find this in CoinGecko. Just click on these 3 dots right here, and it'll tell you which chains they're on. And just cross-match reference that to the top main USA coins. Maybe you would take a look at that and say, this might be a winner, and I'm going to invest in that. Instead of going, hey, you know what else I'm going to invest into? Some crazy, wacky meme coin. You degenerates. What are you going to do? It's just how it is. So just something to look at, I think. And then also, and we talked about this today too, as a refresher. Stable coins, I know people talk about Ethereum is dead, and I'm not super happy with how well my Ethereum bags have done, but it is what it is. But Ethereum's still the king of stable coins. And no, not layer 1. It's too expensive and too slow. But layer 2s, right? Base, Polygon, Arbitrum, that type of stuff. And you get to see that. Actually, I'm going to get out of here. Let me just say this. What do you think that green line is? The blue line is Ethereum. And that has the most by market cap of all stablecoins. And if you're asking, like, where did I get this? Just go to DeFiLlama.com. Come down here where it says stables and click on chains. And you can go over the last 2 years or so for stablecoin and all the dominance and how much funds are in there. But I'm just curious, what do you think is that green line right there? Because if you think about it, you're like, well, that should be a pretty big chain, right? Because it's right below Ethereum. So which one is it? I'll tell you which one it is. Ed was close with Base. Very close, Ed. And then is the Bitcoin super cycle. Ethereum is the king of real world assets. Looking out. So here's what it is. Guess what that is? It's Tron. It's Tron. Tron is the second biggest chain for stablecoins. Why, you ask? Well, in a lot of Asian countries, they seem to love Tron. They seem to really love Justin Sun. And everybody that I had to deal with in any parts of Asia, Southeast Asia, didn't matter. They're all like, yeah, send us Tether, but can you use Tron? I'm like, why? Because that's all we use here. I was like, really? I'll be damned. And it's, I got to tell you, it's not that fast, and it sure as heck isn't that cheap, but just a lot of people were using it. So I don't understand why, but that's what you got. And you got Ethereum, Tron, Solana, number 3, just saying, again, cross-reference to American companies. Binance Smart Chain, all right. Base, doesn't have a token. Arbitrum, Hyperliquid, Polygon, Avalanche, 10, some others. So you're going to see where things are. Now, I made a reasonably compelling case for why could be an altcoin season, but sparingly. I made a reasonable case to why it's not dead, but I understand where people are coming from as far as there is no altcoin season. That's it. Bitcoin super cycle. All the money's flowing into Bitcoin. And you know what? As far as money flowing into Bitcoin, they're right. There's a lot of money flowing into Bitcoin. But for what I just talked about, Eric Trump, Donald Trump, the stockpile, the holdings for the president's company, the DeFi that they're doing, the meme coins that they launched on, and everything in between, I still say there's going to be some alt winners. But I just kind of showed you what I think those could be. But I will go back and say this. Having said all that, we covered this a couple of days ago. So stablecoins are great. Tether is the biggest. And it looks like it's going to take its $140 billion worth and stick it on Bitcoin as well. Now, that doesn't mean to say that they're not going to be on all of these chains as well, but they're going to also be on Bitcoin. How do you do that? Because Bitcoin's super slow and super expensive. This is how they're going to do it. Tether's launching $140 billion. Stablecoin, the Bitcoin Lightning Network. Integration enabled by Lightning Labs' Taproot Assets protocol allows USDT issuance on Bitcoin's base layer and transactions on Lightning, offering faster and cheaper payments. Lightning's not everything it can be, or else we've already taken over. You have to open up a channel between 2 or more individuals. They have to go back and forth. Those things get settled on chain, but still I can see where things are coming from. So I wouldn't be remiss about that. And that's the good case. And that's it for today. So look, I went a little bit long, almost 20 minutes, but I wanted to get everybody a really solid base case as to, why I think there could be some sort of alt season, but not like what everybody's thinking. I think maybe there's going to be there's going to be a lot of losers. And gosh, we just talked about this today, as a matter of fact. Did you know there's over 18 million crypto tokens out there? And in 2025, we're expected to have 100 million. Thanks, Pump Fund. So there's just too much dilution. And I think this is where we're going to start to narrow down the losers or the laggards and go for the big ones. That's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. Now let's jump into a little Q&A, and once all your questions, we'll get into it. Yeah, let's see. Spam says, I don't want to think, just tell me what to buy. Treasuries. I don't know. I've been, most of what I've been buying was in the bear market. I've really slowed down. Like even this last dip, I didn't buy anything. Like everybody said, oh, you didn't buy the dip, you should have bought the dip. I've been around since 2017. I bought plenty of those. I did as much as I possibly could. My goals aren't your goals. So let's see. Oh, wow. Didn't know that. Digital SSD just says, I heard pump funds getting sued. Have you heard anything? I've not heard anything. That'd be interesting. Although there was a, let me see if I can find it. I think this is the new, was the acting head of the SEC or the CFTC. And they talked about like what things people could do as far as investments. Let me see if I can just roll this up. So many things out there that are going on. No. Oh, also, I don't know if this is still in the case, but the Jupiter DAO on Solana was their X profile was hacked. So if anybody is looking at tweets or posts from the Jupiter DEX, don't click that. I can't find it. Yeah, we'll see what happens. If it gets sued, it gets sued. Cost of doing business. Cat with a K, but my goals are your goals. Jupiter Mojo. No, Jupiter, that would be the decentralized exchange. Let's see. Hang on. Who has too much illusion? Who knows? I got to tell you, I think that the super cycle, the elongated cycles, those things are going to make its way through. And I've heard those for quite some time. Although I did hear a lot of that about a Bitcoin ETF all the way back in 2017. And it did actually happen. It just took a lot longer. Chet said Trump killed the Fourier cycle. No, I don't think so. I think it's still there. And really it comes down to, it's not just Trump too. You have to have an adequate amount of liquidity, and you have to have a reasonably strong, solid, forward-moving economy. Look, if we go into a deep recession, some people say there's a recession right now. Some people say we're going into recession. Some people say there's no recession. But if we go into a deep recession, the four-year cycles are out the window. All the risk-on assets are gone. And all this talk, like as great as Bitcoin is, the majority of people will jump ship. That's just the truth. And only the ones, the real believers, the true ones, will buy it up like crazy. So some people will look at it and say, hey, I can't wait for a recession. Other people are like, don't recession me till I can dump my bags of altcoins. You know who you are. What do you think about Caspa? Hopefully it does well. Who knows? I got to ask you a question though on Caspa. What are they doing? Like, I haven't heard a peep out of that about, their, even like their partnerships and who's building on it, what's going on. And not just like, oh, they got a good partnership here, good partnership here, but I'm like solid numbers. Like what are people doing with Caspa? And don't tell me like, well, it's great on TPS and it's great for transactional history and can really, onboard a ton of people. Show me what they're doing, who they're doing it with. And show me how that actually has utility. Tefanish says, there is altcoin season coming after the bear market. Probably true. Rob's beard says alt season will rage harder than 2021. This beard says I've been around the block way too long. Bitcoin only did a third of what XRP did in the last 12 months. Yeah, XRP did a great job, But congratulations to everybody who held that. Not easy. Yeah. He used to be worth watching, whoever that is. If that's me, yeah. No alt season, seriously? Stillman, I just went over the whole reason of why the sentiment is there's no alt season, why people believe that, why I don't truly believe it, why a bunch of alts aren't going to make it, and why very, very few probably will. So, do like Insane Cloud Posse? Well, that's ICP. Let's see. 3-hour ICP is rendered dead. As long as the AI narrative is still up and running, they'll be just fine. Bitcoin Counter, that's a great name. SWI is a decent good alt, and so is Caspa. SWI and Aptos. I know the guys over at Coin Bureau, Nick specifically, just did a great video on Aptos and SWI and the differences. I own those. Well, no, that's not true. I own SWI. I don't own any Aptos. It's all gone, Rob. Take profits. Like, good. I gotta tell you, like, this is where I feel the most relaxed, is when like there's a bunch of uncertainty. Because like, well, does it go up? Does it go down? Do this and that. Like, I did all the things I was supposed to do. I bought in the bear market when the prices weren't fantastic. I took profits as things started to pump up. I diversified my portfolio mostly into real estate and land. And I'm feeling pretty good. But I know some people haven't, and some people are worried. But I still see bigger things for alts, especially with what the president of the United States, which is crazy to think about, is behind, and who they're actually bringing forth as far as like for the organizations to oversee everything. We'll see though. Let's see. Crypto has done it's all a lie anyway. That's a very long lie, I got to tell you. Waiting for the best meme coin. Baron. Does Trump use... right, pen of pie. Would rather fight one horse-sized Rob or 100 duck-sized Ben, or 100 duck-sized guy horses. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Can ADA at least go back to his phone? That's $3. They has to do a 3x from here. It's pretty tough. But who knows? Let's see. Does Trump use Jupiter or Radian? I don't know. I don't know if they even... Looks like Cow Protocol is what they're using now. Render actually makes a profit. JB says there's no utility. You are the utility. Although, I will say this. I didn't really want to talk because we were going so long. But like, there are some real utility out there. Did you guys hear about this? Helium, which is on the Solana blockchain, just rolled out its free 5G wireless plan. Now, before you get all excited, first of all, they already had a plan. It runs off of T-Mobile, and it's very cheap, and it's unlimited talk, text, and data here in the United States. I don't know if it's global, but I'm pretty sure it's outside the U.S. as well. But they have it all throughout the U.S. And before you say, well, nothing's for free, Rob, you're absolutely right. This is a limited individual who can actually sign up for this. Zero plan costs nothing, gives users 3 gigabytes of data, 300 texts, and 100 minutes of calls they use each month for free. High demand as expected. There's a wait list, blah, blah, blah. But I just thought it was interesting because I'm like, they're doing that. That's a pretty good, it's a promo. That's what it is. But Helium Mobile is right now, you can use it. And you can be part of that sharing crypto economy built on Base. Built on Base, built on Solana. So that works out pretty well. Also, if you're a fan of World Mobile, Base, Binance Smart Chain, and Cardano, World Mobile is rolling out their US plan as well. And I'm going to be switching over my phone when it goes live. I think it's this month. I really shouldn't have said that, but forget what I just said. World Mobile is coming out at some point in 2025. And I'll be switching over from, I have T-Mobile actually. I'm going to switch over to them. So, and then you'll be earning in World Mobile tokens. So there is utility there. Just got to take a look at it a different way. And then when we start doing things like tokenization of real world assets, that's a big thing. And also, like JB, like, I don't know where you're at, but did you guys know, first of all, I'm in the United States, for me to transfer funds from one bank to another in the United States, it takes roughly, sometimes it's 24 hours, sometimes it's 72 hours. And if it's on the weekend, forget it. And this is like, and not between your own bank, you can do it, but that's just how much we are here. I talk to people in like in UK, Japan, Australia. Apparently, like you guys can move your money like that. And I'm like, how the hell how did we get there? How did we get left behind? So like when I'm transferring things of funds and like I'm dealing with like stables and stuff like that, I just use Base, and it works out. It's super fast, it's super cheap, and it gets like I'll be texting people like I'm sending it right now. Send. I send it, and I'm like, did you get it? Got it. Thanks. That's it. That's it. Like I got to tell you, here in Puerto Rico, we've got some guys working for us here at the apartments, and we had to pay them, you know, for the work being done. Like, what do you guys take? We take cash and we take check. And you guys take crypto? We don't take crypto. All right, we'll give you a check. Gave them a check. They go to the bank. Bank's like, we're not going to honor this check because, you know, this is a large amount. We can't do that and blah, blah. I'm like, mother. So we had to go down to this is a first world problem thing I'm complaining about. I know. Go down to the bank, talk to the bank, tell them it's okay, show them their IDs, essentially say like, this is us, and, you know, pay these people because they did great work. And that's where we're at. So like, I still see like, I know payments isn't a very sexy thing, but like if you're talking about payments about globally and not have to use Swift, it works. But the other stuff, I don't really know. Some of the stuff's kind of ridiculous. JB's right on that. I'm waiting for Litecoin season. It could be. Oh yeah, MJ Matrix. Howard Lutnick, Cantor Fitzgerald CEO. Now I think he's gonna be Treasury Secretary? Secretary of State? No, that's not what he is. Let me see. Howard Lutnick, what is his position? Commerce Secretary. Jeez. He got confirmed. Great. He's a big Bitcoin bull, and there's another one for you. So, and Czech Republic passed the bill for tax exemption for long-term holders. I believe it's 3 years, which is pretty good. In Germany, anything that you hold over a year, it is there's no capital gains. And the Czech Republic, they did a smarter thing. They said, look, if you hold it for 3 years of I think it's just for long-term. I don't know if it's just for Bitcoin or digital assets or everything. But if you hold something for 3 years, which forces people essentially to be a little bit longer-term investors, there's no capital gains. What a smart play to do that. That's what we should do here in the States. You know, once we pass this Bitcoin strategic reserve, if you don't want to have capital gains, 4 years. 4 years, you got to hold it, and you won't have any capital gains. It'll force people to hold that Bitcoin. And guess what? If they got to hold that Bitcoin, they don't sell it, what happens to the price? Well, usually there might actually be this thing called a supply shock I keep hearing about for the last 20 years. Mr. Sims says, what is this? Where's the pool background? Must be a bear market. Yeah, I couldn't even afford a green screen today, for Pete's sakes. It's tough out there. It's tough out there. I heard Costco is getting Bitcoin machines. Check this out. So people, this is what you're going to see at Costco. If you don't know what Costco is, you're really missing out on life. It's the greatest place. It's like America personified. Everything is cheap and super massive amounts for very low prices. And now they just signed a deal to have a bunch of Bitcoin ATMs. First of all, if you've ever used a Bitcoin ATM, you're not going to like it because the fees are pretty high and you can only get so much. And I still think that you still have to do KYC and AML for these ATMs. It's not like just going, hey, I'm just going to take my debit card and buy $9,999 worth of Bitcoin and it'll spit it out, give me a QR code, and I can transfer it to my cold storage wallet. I don't think that's how it works. I've actually never used it. Friends of mine have, and they say, yeah, it's kind of, the fees are stupid high. So why is this such a big deal? Well, it's just marketing. It's just brand awareness. That's pretty much the big play. And when you have a Bitcoin ATM, then the normies can be like, hey, I'm going to go buy some Bitcoin. They don't care that they're paying like 20% or 9% of whatever the actual fee is for get ATM. They're just like, hey, I got some Bitcoin. That's all it is. But yeah, let's see. Skith says, what's the deal with Sweatcoin, Rob? Anything good left to do with it anymore? Is it essentially dead? Pretty much dead. I don't know if anything's going on with that. Now, they could probably come out tomorrow with some huge, we just partnered up with Nike, I guess. One of my investments didn't work out. Sweatcoin's not the greatest. Although it was free to get. You just download the app and start walking. Pretty good. I don't know. Rob, I don't have a Costco anywhere like 100 miles. You're missing out. Hot dog for $1.50 and a large pizza for $9.99. Feed an entire family. It's like prices from like 1985. Yeah. Love you, Rob. I understand now you're calm after the storm. Yes. 5 years here. Hey, Cat. Oh, man. Don't ever use a Bitcoin ATM. Yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't do it. Yeah, Meme's got a point. Sweatcoin got me walking again. Don't worry. Rob, appreciate all your info and talking with us. It's rude. Relieving. Even Bobby passed on Sweat. Yeah. No, I think he would have done it if I would have known him. Hot dog and a soda. That's right. $1.50. Have you heard of Polymesh? I have not. And then Jason Forrest, come on, man, the food is great. That's not true. Hot dogs are great. They're not good for you, but they're better than than a donut or maybe like any other fast food out there. I mean, sure, it's not a steak, but I mean, come on, it's $1.50. Yeah, all right. And I think that's it, everybody. I think we'll live right there with Jason. The food is crap. Anyhow, that's it for today, everybody. So thanks so much for stopping by, hanging out with me for almost 40 minutes. I appreciate it. Again, just hang in there. I think I'll be just fine. Altcoin season. I see the sentiment, but I still have good vibes about it, depending on what you're into. That's it for today. So look, thanks so much. I appreciate you. See you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Adios.